What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Black Labels. PG for Loyalty Runs Deep, and new PG over there on the Glue Guys. If you haven't checked us out, you can always go ahead and check us out on our YouTube channel, 2K_heads. We'll be streaming all our comp pro-am games, stuff like that. You could go ahead and check the team out. Now, also don't forget, press that like button below. Ain't no reason that you here getting all this valuable information and you ain't pressing the like button. Go ahead, press that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It does help the channel. Now, I'm going to go ahead today. I'm going to go ahead and break down a little bit here about the badges. Now, this right here, this is my 99 PG build. Now, 99 build, I'm talking about the steel. Now, this boy is a demon. So I'm going to kind of go through a little bit here on the badge layout, some of the stuff that I run. You know, what are the stuff that I think is useful and not useful. You know, like I said, I play at a very high level. I play competitively. And then I also play park and stuff like that too, here and there. So I could kind of break down what badges I like and what badges I don't. Because to be honest with you, this year there's a lot of badges that really don't do much. And then there's a lot of badges that are like kind of OP in a sense. So I'll go ahead and break that down for you. So let's get right into it. Finishing. Now, finishing. This is kind of like, in regards to as like a point guard, in particular on this build. So I get 17 total. Now, I do like Giant Slayer. Giant Slayer, to me, is one of the better badges. I've noticed that it's a really big badge of making a lot more contact layups. I don't even really have a high layup, but it triggers all the time, especially when I'm going towards the rim. Even when I'm, you know, like I said, those contact layups, there's a lot more and ones going on. I love those. I do have Masher on here. There's no reason. I just don't have anywhere else to put. I don't get Acrobat to silver, and my Fearless doesn't go to silver, and I don't run layup timing, so it doesn't really help me either way. I could put it on Aerial Wizard. I guess that's the best spot, but I don't catch lobs either, so it's just here for here. Now, Acrobat is pretty dope. It does help again with giving that, you know, you receive a boost. Additionally, the ability to beat defenders with gathers is improved. So now, this is if you do all that nice fancy stuff with the hop steps, the cradles. Also, there's a nice little animations that you can get if you're going up for a dunk and then you pull out of the dunk and go for a layup. Acrobat does trigger on that. Now, if you have high Acrobat, that does help it, and that makes you make those crazy out of dunk layups. Fearless finisher. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, it's an okay badge. Like, if I had to break them all down, like Giant Slayer is my favorite. Acrobat's probably right behind Giant Slayer. Fearless finisher, I could live with it or without it. It does strengthen the ability to absorb contact and still finish. Also reduces the amount of energy lost from contact layups. So I mean, if it's more or less just absorbing the contact and still finishing, I have it on bronze and I make a lot of contested layups, so it could be OP. Like I said, but I make a lot on bronze. I don't know if it's necessarily just because of Fearless, though. There would have to be a lot more testing that goes into that. Now, my big ones is Limitless. Limitless Takeoff and Posterizer. Now, I do have to core Limitless Takeoff still on this build. I'm going to be honest with you. That shit is slow. I have obviously clearly done none of it. Doesn't make sense. Now, I'm going to break it down to you on this. People say this badge is super OP. I think it is too, because I have noticed the difference when it's on and off. Problem is I can't get it to pop up a lot on certain things, so I'm kind of in a mix for it. But Posterizer is a great badge. I do rock with Posterizer. Posterizer is one of my favorites. So I do kind of play around with either or. I'm still kind of in the process. Finishing badges, to me, I'll have to get you on one of my bigger dunking builds, and I can kind of break down things a little bit better. I know we have a 99 driving dunk build that we're going to release soon. When I say that thing is a demon, that thing is a demon. So for all you people that want to make highlight films on the dunks, I got a build for you. And I'll go ahead and play that out later on in the week. Now, moving on to shooting. Now this is more where we get towards my expertise. Volume shooter is actually pretty OP. If you get it up to around the bronze, the gold, Hall of Fame, you can run it at that level. At PG, you should definitely run it. Me personally, I flip between Space Creator and Volume Shooter. Midi Magician is difficult shots as it was in previous years. Midi Magician is a good badge. I just don't really need to use it. I make my mid-range fades pretty well. It's not something that's more of a necessity for me. because all these other badges are really more important. I heard comeback kit's pretty solid. Claymore is good for catch and shoot guys or corner players. It's a really good badge. It's honestly mandatory for a corner shooter, hands down. Guard up, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not seen much success with this badge. It's kind of like a broken Jedi / blinders. It's really not, it's not much. Like I said, I make contested shots and guard up is not there. I do not run guard up. And we go into like corner specialist is an amazing badge for obviously for corner players. Slippery off ball. Again, this is really good, but only for centers in my opinion. Off of the slip. So I do like this badge, but I like it for centers, especially inside centers. If you're making an inside center, if you could find a way to get yourself those extra badges just for slippery off ball, I think that's going to benefit you. Now, in regards to amped, I love amped. People don't really run it, but they don't realize that your stamina is super low. Again, I play two-way, so I'm always very active on defense, and then I'm also running the break. I'm also running the PG position, so the ball is typically in my hands. And having it on anything lower than gold is honestly super hard because you do feel the effects. The jump shot becomes super slow. Amped helps with that, and it reduces the penalty of it. So I do like amped. Amped is probably one of my key badges because it does help keep the timing more consistent in a game that's super inconsistent. Catch and shoot is a good badge. Obviously, I run the ball in my hand most of the time, so I don't need this badge. But if you are a player that plays more off ball, it's a good badge. Green machine. Yeah, I get it. Everyone's we green. Obviously in this game, everything has to be a green. So it is an important badge. Just not something that I run. It's not, I don't need a boost for greening shots. I feel like shooting's pretty easy. And then you got Space Creator. Space Creator is one of the things that's more of a specialty badge. For me, I'm a specialty player in regards to like space creating. Like I love step backs. I love those type of shots, and I like that. It helps boost that. And it even helps give you a little bit more space. And that's why I love Space Creator. The most important badge in the game on shooting wise is Agent 3s. Agent 3 is basically anything when you're dribbling the ball. I know it says here it improves the ability to make pull up or spin shots from 3-point range. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not just pull ups. They've considered now that everything you shoot when you're dribbling the ball is a pull up. So when that's the case, it's not just fades. It's actually just anytime you have the ball that's hits the deck, you are now going to trigger Agent 3 if you make the shot or if you shoot it. Super important badge. Honestly, if you can get this to Hoff, go for it. On my particular build that I run, I have it on gold. Same thing with blinders. Now, there is a controversy between blinders and Deadeye. Blinders is very solid. Blinders triggers a lot. You will see blinders trigger a lot in regards to any fades or anything where you get the crab in the midi or, and they're contesting out from anywhere. Like you're getting blinders a lot. So blinders to me is super important. Deadeye, I swear to you, ran so many tests with this badge and I cannot get this thing to pop up. Like there is such a very specific way that it is to get, to get it to pop up that it's honestly not worth the 7 badge points to run it. Because the amount of times that you can get it to pop up is just not worth the benefit of it. It has to be very specific to get this badge to pop up. Some people say that it might be working in the background, but I don't agree with that because I feel like every badge that they've put on, they're pretty straightforward and it will pop up if it's being used at any point. So I don't think this is one of those badges that does that. And like I said, it's super hard to get it to activate. I don't recommend it. It's just kind of a bonus if you have it. Limitless, this is super important, especially for spacing the floor. Again, I can run the pick and roll a little bit higher. I do love silver into gold. Silver is totally doable. So if you got an 85 3 ball, it's not impossible. Honestly, like I said, the Limitless badge this year only helps improve your shot percentage the deeper you go. So it's not that you can't shoot deep. It just improves your shot percentage of you actually making it. So it's a great badge to have. And like I said, it helps with spacing. It allows you to have more freedom to hit certain shots that are a little bit deeper, especially when teams are rotating. It just gives you more freedom. Playmaking. I run, so I'll start with tier 1. I do run Dimer. The reason is because I got the extra ones left over. There's nothing really for me else to put it on. I do like Dimer, though. I always believe in you got to be able to, you got to understand at point guard, if people do start doubling you, blitzing you. Like sometimes it is a little boost to hit your guy, and you know they're gonna make it a little bit better if you can get that higher dope. But Dimer does speed up people's shots, so it is kind of tough on some people. They do have to understand how to play with Dimer because as you get higher, especially at the Hall of Fame level, it does speed the shot up a lot. So just if you make your teammates aware of that, Dimer's a great badge, but it does change shot timing. So just a heads up. Needle Threader. Needle Threader is my favorite. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're not running Needle Threader, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably getting a lot of passing lane turnovers. Needle Threader, if you can get it to gold, is obviously beneficial. I had made this build. Now I have also a different version where I can make it and get it to gold because I do think it's important. Like I said, I went for more defense, so silver for me was kind of the threshold that I cannot go any lower. So silver is still pretty comfortable for me. I've had to adjust, and I still like it. Like I said, silver is the minimum. I wouldn't go any lower than silver, but it is a super important badge. Bailout on bronze is your minimum. You absolutely need bailout on bronze. You just don't know when you're shooting fades and you're playing against the highest level of competition. Like they're throwing different defenses at you, so you're gonna get a bunch of blitzes. You do have to bail out of them. So that's just how it is. Bronze is definitely the way to go in that essence. Hyperdrive. Now, I hear that a lot of PGs or guards don't run this. I'm not going to lie to you, you're tripping. If you're not running Hyperdrive, I feel like your speed boost isn't as effective. I can move as fast as a lot of these guards that are on 94 XL or whatever. I have like an 82 on my build, but I'm not going to lie to you, it has a lot to do with quick first step and Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive is because I can trigger it. I've learned how to trigger it a lot effectively. When you trigger this, and it's again increases the speed at which a player can perform a moving dribble move as they attack down the court. So when you're going through these different combos and then you flick the stick and you trigger it and say you're trying to get to the rim or you're trying to, basically get the clamp breaker to activate as well. So you break that, you do a step back or a walk back. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, it's huge. It gives you a straight boost. Now it does help, like I said, with the speed boosting. Quick first step. This is self-explanatory. I'm not going to lie to you. Everyone should know that quick first step is the most important badge in regards to that speed at point guard. So quick first step is super important. Pluckable. Do not put it under gold. Gold is the standard. Anything under gold, I swear to you, your build is going to be, might as well throw it away. Because if you go up someone against me, that's a pluck every single time. I highly recommend you do not play with silver. You do play with gold. Or gold and above. Off, I think you got to get it a little bit higher. I want to say it's 95 ball handling or 96, and you'll be able to get it to Hoff. But like I said, I think Hoff is kind of that overkill. Like I said, it's still going to work. You're still going to get plucked regardless of this. But like I said, gold is the standard. OP badge, Clamp Breaker. Now, I think this is probably one of the most dangerous badges because this is what gives you the blow bys. Now, if you guys played 18, you'll know that blow bys were super OP at that time. They brought in Clamp Breaker. Now, Clamp Breaker is a specific badge that basically helps with blow bys, and it helps brush off locks. So that to me is super important because if you don't have this, you're getting bodied up more and you're getting stopped from trying to turn the corner and get to the rim or the mid range or whatever, and then you're going to get plucked or you're going to get bump stealed. Clamp Breaker, I swear to you guys, run this badge. I get it, killer combos for you dribble heads and this and that. I've never ran killer combos. Yes, I've tested it many times. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a bunch of nothing. Like there's really nothing that goes into killer combos. It's a cool bonus, but it is not as important as Clamp Breaker. Handles for days and Clamp Breaker in this are just huge. Silver is the minimum you run for handles for days. If you can get to gold, totally do it. I wish I could get to gold on mine, but I unfortunately can only get to silver on this. And silver does do the job for me. But killer combos, that's a bonus badge. That's something that if you just got extra playmaking and you're trying to be a straight ball handler, totally, yeah, put it in. Mismatch expert. I have, some people that have said that it works decent. To be honest with you, I haven't noticed much of a difference on Mismatch expert. It says that you're able to beat the taller defenders off the dribble in a one-on-one situation when they're switched on to them. I could see it working a little bit when you're doing when you're going against the back end. So like you break the first line off the Clamp Breaker, now you're going against the back end, and then you also want to beat them. I think at that point it's kind of overkill. But again, it does help with even if you're going against tall locks. Locks are typically at 6'7" right now. So you're at 6-1. So I mean, it does help in that essence, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't noticed much of a change or a difference in particular in that badge. Defense. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to guards. Ankle braces is really not important. No one really runs ankle breaker. Menace. I love Menace. Menace is probably one of my favorite badges, and it's cheap. This pops up all the time. Like, it is a super important badge. Then you got Pick Dodger. Pick Dodger is really solid. It helps you obviously get around the screen so you're not getting killed by the screen. Workhorse is good for big men, pointless for guards because the offense will always get a boost regardless once they initially get plucked. So they'll always get like kind of first dib. But Workhorse for bigs is pretty solid. Challenger is a good badge. To be honest with you, I don't run Challenger, but that's also just because I just don't have the badges for it. But Challenger is pretty solid. I only run Silver Clamps and I play on ball. Clamps is not really the craziest badge this year as it was in years past. But it's still obviously a necessity. So Clamps is a very big badge. I do run it, but the differences between the levels is not that crazy. This badge right here is what makes you a lock this year. Is your glove badge. Like I said, the point, I'll tell you this, if you go through all my YouTube videos, you'll know, you hear me say it all the time. The difference between a lock is really about the amount of turnovers and, and frustration it can create for their guards. It really is not so much as about like, you're going to sit in front of somebody and, hold them down. Because at the end of the day, they're going to throw the slip, and the way the paint is, like, it's the GG as well. So, like, you have to create turnovers. You have to, be in the lanes and stuff like that. What I do is I'll switch here. Sometimes I'll go Hoff Interceptor because I do have Hoff Interceptor as well. I have noticed it's a little bit overkill, so I'll go with the gold, and then I'll go with the gold Pick Dodger because I've noticed a big difference between silver and gold. But like I said, Hoff Glove is immaculate. That's the powerful badge right now in defense. If you make any build, I highly recommend Park. Pro-am builds, if you're just gonna play rec, whatever. If you want to be effective at all on the defensive side of the floor at a guard position, just make sure you have your steel up, and you want to make sure that you have your glove. That's honestly was super important. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of let you guys know a little breakdown here, a little bit kind of what I use, and then kind of the thinking behind all of it. But this is just a badge breakdown. Again, you're watching 2K Heads, it's Black Labels. Anything you guys need, you just go ahead and comment. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like it. If you don't like it, if there's any adjustments that you think, or if there's certain badges that you've tested yourself, let us know. We always love to get that feedback. Like I said, tune into our streams. We'll be streaming always, Monday through Sunday typically in regards to doing Pro-am or any type of stuff like that, maybe even rec. So always join in. Like I said, if you haven't clicked that like button, press that like button. If you also need to press subscribe to your boys. Again, 2K Heads, this is Black Labels, and we out.